Today's podcast is my 100th episode of my podcast that I began at the beginning of 2025 called Words to Ponder. And for today's episode, I would like to discuss a phrase. And the phrase is spiritual, but not religious. And I don't know if you're like me, but I have found that as each decade passes in my life, that I change and evolve a little bit. And this can be big or small in the impact that it makes. And one of the things that I have changed quite a bit on in probably just the last 10 years, maybe 5 years, is this expression, spiritual, but not religious. I remember about 15 years ago, I was on a dating site, Match.com, and as it was doing potential matches, religion is one of those things that's one of the things you're looking for as far as a match for someone who is most like you. And I did meet a few people and dated for short periods of time. But one of the things that I avoided back then was someone who, when answering about their religion, said, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And that was a big turnoff for me at the time, because I thought, well, does that just mean that you're nothing? And so I had some thoughts about that, and they were not positive thoughts, I must admit. But I find myself today in a different way to look at that expression, spiritual, but not religious. In the past, I looked at that, well, if you're spiritual, well, you believe in trees and witches and the zodiac and all of this. And I know that, and I know now that what I used to think about that is probably not correct. It certainly is not what I think now. And I guess because my thought of the word religious has changed quite a bit. I look at the word religious as a bad thing now. And it's really how I look at the word religious. And the reason for that being is we live in a world where we have people that claim to be religious that are doing some really, really, really terrible, terrible things. And I look at that word religious now and it says, well, the people that I see that claim to be religious are people that are all about rules and controlling other people. And religion, I see today as a bad thing, because religion, as applied in our world today, is out to get people or to tell people who don't belong or to push people out. And so Jesus came because the religious got it wrong. And Jesus came to clarify that God calls us to love all of our neighbors, to love all people, to take care of people in need. And sadly, 2,000 years later, people that claim to be Christian, followers of the Christ, want nothing to do with the teachings of Jesus. And that really is unfortunate, because it means that most all of religion and most all of Christianity or historical Christianity that we tend to celebrate in our world has all been for naught as it's been applied and carried out? Hasn't made much difference to the religious. And so people that consider themselves very religious might actually be our enemy. And the people that say they are spiritual but not religious might be our champions. These are the people that are deeply spiritual, that truly hold to the life and lessons of Jesus and really believe in loving our neighbors and really believe in caring for those that need, caring for the immigrants, treating people with kindness and love, doing no harm to people. Imagine a world where no one, no organization, no church, no government does harm to people. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a church or a Christian fellowship that truly did love all people and did no harm to people and wished no harm to people? Can you imagine a government that actually wanted to help people succeed, help people get medical care, help people have their needs met, help people live better lives? Can you imagine? Isn't that the purpose of government? To help their people, help success, help people to have their needs met, their medical needs met, their food, their shelter, having their needs met. Should it be the goal of people to get richer and get more power and have more, even at the expense of other people? That's not looking out for yourself. That's being selfish. There's a cool little cartoon, and if I can find it, I'll put it right up here. But it's a picture of three people at a table. And there's the person over here who's being considered the enemy, let's say an immigrant. So here's an immigrant sitting across from someone who has a plate with one cookie on it. And the person in the middle has a plate with hundreds and hundreds of cookies. And the person with hundreds and hundreds of cookies is looking at the person whose plate has one cookie on it and telling him, "You better be careful because this man here wants to take your cookie away from you." So the person with hundreds of cookies is telling the person with one cookie to be careful and afraid of this other person who has no cookies because that person wants your cookie. Doesn't make any sense, does it? So when I think of the people who get elected and hold power in politics claiming to be religious people, well, no wonder my thinking of this expression, spiritual but not religious, has changed and evolved. Who wants to be like these people that claim to be religious? And I'll go even further. Who wants to be like the people that claim to be Christian when we see what those people are doing? Who wants to go out and say, "Hey, I'm a Christian," when everyone thinks about these people that are hoarding all the resources and telling the people with very few resources that the people with no resources want their resources. And some of these people that don't have many resources are fooled, and they think that the reason why they're having a difficulty getting resources is because people with no resources are trying to take theirs, while the people telling them to be scared of that person have hundreds and hundreds and more than they could ever use. So when I hear the expression spiritual but not religious, I think that's what I like now, where I used to not like that. So I'm thinking back 15 years ago, did my wrong thinking about that expression cause me to miss out on the dating app because I made that a non-negotiable on my app, although I did meet a few nice people along the way. So I kind of want to say that I'm Christian, but not religious, because religiosity is killing today's church and has already killed today's politics. If you have engaged in this podcast, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.